Oh dear. I'll just double check that it's live in my group. Bear with me. Okay, Jeremy, we are live now. You are welcome to speak.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you for coming. Jeremy, very excited that you took time out of your busy schedule to come have a chat with us about your portable granny flats and tiny homes?
Yep. They have a lot of different names, but those ones work as well.
Yes. Would you like to tell us a bit more about yourself? How did you come around to start this company? Yeah, and why do you specialize in these products?
Sure, can do. So I guess to get started, I've been in construction. Started out as a civil engineer in 2002, so just over 20 years, and then did that for 8 years and went into residential construction. So in 2011, made the switch from civil to residential construction, and have been basically since then doing residential builds. So we did renovations, knockdown rebuilds, extensions, and first floor additions since then. So since 2011, and last year, so 2023, we saw that there was a need for a different solution to the traditional building. I think COVID really helped us see it too. When people, when you couldn't go to site and people couldn't have trades on site, we started looking at options to, like, how do we provide a home so that we don't have to be on their site and we can just crane it on. And so that's what got us started looking at modular building and tiny homes and building off site. So we've been doing that since last year, and we've been really enjoying the journey and loving the opportunities that modular building provide to people, because it is it's an alternative solution to traditional building. So yeah, that's a little bit how we got started and my background.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I prepared some questions for you today, some tests, some quiz. Are you ready for those questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me try and find it. Bear with me. Okay. Could you run us through like one of your most popular investor granny flat and one tiny home caravan options? Yeah, we like to look at the floor plan. Can you explain what sort of material is used? And give us some rough idea about the cost. And in addition to that, if we need DA approval and extra things like connecting to water utilities, roughly how much more we need to budget for. Can you give us some ideas? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So probably one of our most popular granny flat options is it's called the Carry. Carry. It's only a smaller one, so it's about 42 square meters internally, but that has a kitchen. If I share my screen, I'll just show it to it now.
Yep. I think you hit the present button. Is it coming up?
Is it coming? Is it coming on your end?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
oh, beautiful one. Yeah.
Yeah, so this here is our, it's called Carry 45. I guess the reason it's so popular is very simple. So it's, you know, nice and square. This is comprised of 2 modules. So you've got, on the left, you've got 1 building. So those would get transported separately and they'll just get joined together on site. So it has everything you need really for a granny flat. You've got 2 bedrooms, you've got your bathroom there, and it's a nice bathroom as well. And you've got a really good sized kitchen with a built-in laundry.
Yes.
And then it also comes with the built-in deck. The materials, so if we're looking at the structure of it, I can really quickly show you. If you have a look at that slide there.
Yes.
All of our structures are made from steel. So you've got your perimeter beam on the bottom. You've got what we call RHS, so rectangular hollow section steel. That's all fully welded. And then in your corners, you got the, I liken it to your skeleton. These are all welded as well. And then between all of your dark blue steels, you've got your rolled form true core prefabbed steel panels. So all of the rest of the structure is made. And the reason we go with that is because it is really strong, but it's also a lot lighter than traditional timber framing.
Yes.
And that's quite important when looking at modular, because quite often we have to lift them 30 or 40 meters. And when you have something that has to be lifted over a long distance, if it's too heavy, then you need a really, really big crane. So we try and keep things as light as possible for that reason. And also, I mean, steel has its advantages. It's termite proof, you know, it can't be eaten by the white ants. So yeah, that's what we use for our structure.
Does it last longer than wooden frame also? Like
I personally think it does. Also, given the fact that so one of your weak points in a building is your connection. So where anything joins, there's always going to be a weak point, and any engineer will tell you this. Because all of our joints are welded, it makes it really, really strong. And the reason we do that is because we have to keep them nice and robust for transportation. If it's on the back of a truck, you know, it's going to get a lot of movement, more movement than it probably ever will once it's in place. And so we have to build for that. And as such, they end up being, I think, superior to a normal build that you put on site. So all fully welded joins. So very, very strong and will last a long, long time.
May I ask,
way longer than the warranty will last. So I mean, the homeowner's warranty is 7 years, and these structures will outlive that for a long, long time.
Fantastic. May I ask, if you transport and put it at one site, and for example, later you don't need it at that site anymore, you want to transfer it to another site, will the granny flat be strong enough to stand that, like to be removed and put to a new site?
100%. Yep.
100%.
You can definitely do that. Yeah, you can take it.
Oh, that's very handy.
Once it's there, because we bolt the footings down, so the little steel piers. So you can just unbolt them and then lift it up the same way that you put it in and take it away. Yep.
Wonderful.
Definitely can.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, because I was thinking some investor might put them in some of the investment property, you know, to earn dual income. But if later on they want to sell the property or something, you know, some people don't like to buy a property with granny flat. Then there's the option of, you know, moving the granny flat to somewhere else.
So obviously with that, you'd have to, wherever you take it to, redo your plumbing and connections to where the site's going to be. But yeah, once you've got that, you can absolutely take it to your next site.
How about you know, a lot of people care about this one these days. You know, like that, the material, does it help to help with the room temperature inside, like, you know, from being flatulent, too cold or too hot? Does the material help with you know, the temperature being more stable or something, insulated? I think that's the word I'm looking for. The insulation
on these. So we like to run a basics on our build. So with modular in New South Wales, it's not compulsory to have a basics, from what I understand, but we run them through the basics calculator anyway.
Yes.
So just to give you an example, we recently did one in Cooma, which is near Jindabyne in the mountains.
Yes.
And after running that through the basics calculator, because it was in really cold conditions, we had to beef up a lot of the insulation.
Yeah.
And so the way that we do that is the cladding materials do contribute to that a little bit, but the things that are really going to make a difference is the thickness of your insulation in the roof.
Yes.
So your normal insulation in a roof, you've got your anti-clon, you've got your 50 mil blanket for your roofing.
Yes.
Which just goes between your roof battens and your roof sheets.
Yes.
So that provides a little bit of insulation. Then also under that, we put some more insulation. That's the standard for that's around 150 mils. So it's about that thick. For the one that we did in Jindabyne, though, we had to do 250 mils. So it was really thick.
Yeah. So depending on where the granny flat is gonna be dispatched to, you know, the purchaser might need to speak with you to discuss whether they need to beef up the cladding. Is it?
Yep. So that's something that would go from. So our standard though is a 5-star.
Yes.
Which, if you know anything about R value, it's like a R4 in the roof, R2.5 in the walls.
Yes.
And then I think it's like an R2 in the floor. So that's your standard, but and that's what all of our buildings have. Once you go up to a 7-star, though, you need to do things like. So the other place where you lose a lot of thermal energy is your windows and your sliding doors. So once again, for the one in Jindabyne, because that one needed to be 7-star, we had to go double glazed windows with low E, which is basically you've got a film over it that stops any of the stops less heat coming through.
Yes.
So our standard though, just our normal one, has standard 4 mil glass, clear glass, which will help you achieve a 5-star rating.
Oh, okay. So may I ask, like, to do that extra cladding treatment and also the window that you mentioned, how much more can it add to the cost approximately?
It's not a lot. I think overall it's only about it adds about maybe 5 to 10% to the whole build cost. 5 to
10%. Okay.
Yeah.
How about if the granny flat is going to WA? I know you know, WA can get very, very hot. So does it, I don't know, does it need cladding or the existing 5-star will do in that environment?
Most places I think the 5-star is okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that they have gone to a 7-star yet in WA.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure 5 stars is the standard there at the moment, but that could change at any time. So
sure,
as they are though, just the 5-star, they're still very comfortable.
Okay. So how much does something like this cost?
Yep. So this particular one, Carrie, that is so 149,000 plus GST for the Carry 45.
Yes.
Yeah.
And site cost. What's site cost?
Yeah, it's a really sort of could change, really depend on what your site's like. But we say to allow around $10,000 for site costs for that one. As when you get to the smaller ones, the site costs are less because you need less piers.
Yes.
But yeah.
Oh, so this is the granny flat is put on piers, is it?
Yes. Yeah. No slab.
No slab. Okay. Oh, interesting. And then DA. Yeah. Can you explain to us a bit more? Like I don't know. Seems like portable granny flat, portable tiny home seems to have a little bit different DA process compared to, you know, the fixed built one. Is it?
Yeah, so every state's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I mean, just to run you through New South Wales,
Yes.
at the moment they can't go through CDC. It has to go through a DA, and it also
Okay.
runs through some legislation called Section 68, which is basically
is that just for transportable ones, or is it for?
Yes, it's just for transportable ones. Yeah, so that's and the reason that they do that is because with a normal build, when you're the certifier will go to site and they'll do their inspections. They'll do the footing inspections. They'll do the structural inspections.
Yes.
They'll do the waterproofing inspections, and then they'll do the final inspections.
Yeah.
Obviously, these are built in our factory, so they can't go to site, and so they need what's called a compliance plate.
Yes.
And that's run through the factory through the engineer. So we submit all the documents for, and the engineer will have a look at the building to make sure everything's structurally sound.
Yes.
And then we supply what's called a compliance plate. So that's the difference with just a normal build if it was going on site.
Yes, yes. So for that process, how long does it take approximately in New South Wales at the moment to get that?
Once again, every council is different. So we had one that's from the date that we submitted all the documents to the date that we got the approval.
Yeah.
We had one go as fast as 2 weeks.
Okay.
But then we've also had some that take 6 months.
Oh, okay. Which council is most friendly from your experience?
The most friendly ones are the ones, the more regional you go, because as you go more regional, they're more familiar with the process because more people do transportable because there's no trades builders out in those areas. So a lot of people have to do transportable.
Yes, yes.
So the more further you go from the city, the more familiar they are with the process.
Yes, yes.
In the city, it's not as popular because you got lots of, in Sydney, for example, you've got builders everywhere. So it's not as commonly done. And so they do take a little while to get the approvals through. So,
I just gotta ask you some, I just wondering, what's the edge of having a portable granny flat compared to a fixed one? I think we cover some. This one can be moved again, whereas fixed ones may be very difficult to. Cost-wise, is it cheaper than the ones that's being built on site?
I don't think so. I don't think it's cheaper. Maybe sometimes the same, maybe sometimes a little bit more expensive. Depends on what you want as well.
Yes.
So a lot of the time, people aren't doing it for a cost saving.
Yes.
There's usually the two main reasons are the speed of construction.
Yes.
So, for example, this one here we've built recently, the Carry, and it took 8 weeks in our factory.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, which is a lot faster. If you were to have someone come to site,
yes,
you're probably going to be 6 to 8 months, more like it.
Yes. Okay. Understand.
So that's one reason. And so, I mean, if you're a landlord and you have maybe a tenant in your house, traditionally, if you wanted to put a granny flat in the backyard, you would either have to ask the tenant to move out while the builder's there.
Yes.
Or 2, give them some sort of discounted rate while the builder's there. And that can last for, like I said, 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, and if you get the wrong builder and they don't turn up and they don't finish the job, it can take forever.
Forever, exactly. It can take a long time.
Yeah. So what does it happen? Like people, potential client have to put through an order, pay a deposit, then you guys start building in the factory, or?
Correct. So the payment process is much the same. So we take progress payments. So we get a deposit. So we have a 10% building deposit that we ask for. Before that, we have a little holding deposit, just because it's mainly just to make sure we have people that really want to work with us, the holding deposit.
Yes.
Because we do have a lot of people that look into it and they really just they're not legitimate, you know. So we just put that in place to make sure we're getting people who are really committed to doing this. Once that's happened, then we go through the contract process and sign off on all of the things that they want with the build. Then we take the 10% build contract deposit. If we have to go through DA, then we're going to go through that process. But once we have all our approvals, then we take we put the frames up, and then we take our framing payment. Once we've put the cladding and the roof on, then we take cladding, our closed-in payment. Once we've done the fit out, then we take the fit out payment, and then we have practical completion. And we make sure we give photos and videos to our clients. We set up a group chat with them and keep them informed of the build the whole way along. And then before we release it for delivery, we get our practical completion payment. So there's 5 payments. And we minimize the risk to the owner by only taking payments for as much work as we've done. So they can have confidence that, you know, they will get a finished product. And to be honest, we're trying to get these out of our factory as fast as possible. So we're pretty motivated to not muck around with these as well. So
understand. Okay. I don't know. I heard some builders, you know, they take too much order, and then later, you know, due to cost fluctuation or something, they couldn't deliver, they couldn't complete, or take forever. Whereas some builder, they actually kept the number of order they take at all time. How are you like in that area?
Well, we're not as limited by that, because a lot of the times, the reason builders get into that situation is because if you think about, let's say they've got 5 jobs, right? And these 5 jobs, they're all, I don't know, 20 minutes away from each other, or even 10 minutes. To manage those 5 jobs can be quite tricky, because you've got to send trades here, there. You got to send your boys all over the place. You got to get materials delivered to different sites. We have the luxury of having everything under one roof. So if we've got, say, 5 builds on at a time, our plumber just goes 10 meters over to the next one, as opposed to driving all around.
Very efficient.
Very efficient. And then also all of our materials get delivered to the same spot. And for a lot of our materials, we just have them in stock. So we're not having to worry about big lengthy times waiting for materials, and that sort of. The only time that sort of does change is when the client asks for custom things, so like windows that are outside the range and stuff like that. But yeah, most of it's just stock items, so we're not as impacted by that as a traditional builder would be.
Sure. Last time I went to your warehouse and had a look, it was very interesting. I just wondering, do you possibly have like a video of your factory, what's going on, you could share on screen?
Yeah, sure. Let me just, probably the best place for a lot of that is our Instagram.
Just want to see one footage of, you know, going around your factory and seeing that various granny flats and tiny homes are around.
I'll just show you like one of our most recent builds. I'll bring this up. So you can see here, this is part of our factory, and this is one of the builds that we did recently. So this is just going through the build itself. So that probably is less of the factory. This is one of our buildings in the factory.
Yes.
This is one of our tiny homes in the factory.
Yes. What's the difference between granny flat and tiny home? Tiny home are just smaller and doesn't have bathrooms, or?
So usually tiny homes, they refer to tiny homes when they are on a trailer and they have wheels on them.
Okay.
But yeah, some people use the term tiny homes for like any tiny home, but generally speaking, when most people refer to a tiny home, it is in reference to one that's on wheels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And
so this is another one. This is some more of the factory.
Yeah, that's your nice factory.
But this is one of our days. So yeah, we have a lot of people come through.
Usually you have about 5, like how many granny flat or tiny home you can fit on your factory at once, you know, and working on?
Yeah, 5. At the moment, we're capped at 5 at a time, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I think we
but
got
we're
the
looking
idea.
to expand next year.
Yes.
We are looking to expand our factory as the demand increases. So
you're gonna get another factory site or
yeah, we'll get another one.
Okay. In New South Wales or WA?
So we're actually in the process of building our first display home in WA at the moment.
Yes.
So that's going to be in Bunbury.
Yes.
And then probably early to mid next year we'll open up the factory.
Yes.
And then we're also looking to go to a bigger factory here in New South Wales.
Okay. Fantastic. Sounds good. I just wondering, is it possible, like, because yeah, granny flat is very popular for investors. You know, it's all about the rent. Is it possible to have you show us maybe one example, like one of your successful example of, you know, what location, you know, and the granny flat worked really well and got, you know, very high rent. Yeah, and it's excellent cash flow. Can you show us one example and how much the rent was like?
Yeah, so we have one in Peakhurst that we recently did.
Yes, Peakhurst. Okay, in Sydney. Yep.
Yeah. That one there was pretty much this design here. The Carry 45 was a little bit different. It had a longer deck on it.
Yes.
That's in Peakhurst for that one at the moment. That one gets $600 a week rent.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds attractive. How about the more regional area? Like, you know, before you mentioned you had, you know, near the Snow Mountain, Jindabyne or something.
Oh, yeah. So that
would something like that earn even higher rent in those, you know, scenic areas?
So those one, let me just bring that up again. Sorry.
Or they just do Airbnb out there?
Yeah, it's mostly Airbnb out there. So you have a lot lower occupancy rate.
Yes.
We also have one in the Hawkesbury at the moment.
Yes.
I'm trying to find where my. So if you have a look at. So this one here.
Yes.
This was on a very isolated block.
Yeah.
But this one will potentially get around $300 a night.
$300 a night. Okay.
Yeah, but you'd work on that one off about a 40% occupancy.
Okay, only 40% occupancy.
Yeah.
Where is this? I don't know. It looks like the weather can get very cold.
Yeah, that one does get very cold, but it's beautiful. It's got like, it looks over this big valley, and it's close to a place called Kuma. So you've got,
okay.
you know, and that's got all of the stuff you need. It's got restaurants, it's got a township.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, out there, as you get closer to Jindabyne, you get a lot more. I think you're getting around, probably some places get about, I don't know, $500-600 a night.
Yes.
And as you get closer to Kuma, also your seasons, you've got your snow season, and then you've also got your summer season where people go stay at the lake and they use the mountain for mountain biking. So I think your occupancy goes up as the closer you get to the mountain. But yeah, so I mean that's pretty good returns, especially given out there you got lots of land. I'm not sure how much the land is out there though. So, but yeah, there's so many different opportunities that you can use these for.
Yes. Is it like the tiny homes you mentioned is the ones that's on wheel?
Yeah.
They cannot be leased out long term, isn't it? They are more for personal use.
So within the CBD, well, within the suburban city area, there's if they're on your own block, you probably have to do your own research on this, but from memory, if it's on your personal block within suburban areas, I think you can have them in your house and you can rent them out to family.
Yes.
But if you're renting it out to the public, I think they say something like no more than
90 days or something.
Yeah, no more than 2 consecutive days and a total of 60 days per year. So, but I think if you go to regional though, I don't think there are those rules. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, because
but your block has to be within the right zoning.
Yeah, for example, Mandurah Council, but I asked about granny flat. They don't have any restrictions. You know, you can even do Airbnb 365 days
out there. Yeah, that's
of
correct.
the year. Yeah. Oh, so would you say more of your clients are, you know, buying it for regional area? Because, for example, like you say, you know, the standard traditional builders, they're not gonna go all the way out to regional area to build one granny flat or something.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably at the moment I'd say it's about a 70-30 split. So 70 regional, 30 within the city still.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, wonderful. What other question I want to ask you? I just bring up the email. Yeah, can you run us through, you know, you already discussed New South Wales application process. How about WA? Do you know much about, you know, how to get these, you know, transportable homes approved in the WA area? Can you run us through like a simple steps?
Yeah. So the first thing that we always recommend people do is that before you invest too much time or money, is we do a preliminary check, and that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to we can do that for you, or you could do it yourself. But what we do is in that check we make sure that the land itself hasn't got any funky things on it, like easements or any special covenants that are going to limit the ability to put a modular home on there. And so we look into the local council plan first and make sure, okay, is the block big enough? What are the setbacks? Is there any, you know, is it in a flooding zone or is it in a bushfire zone? Is the soils, you know, reactive soils? So we do a little bit of a like a high level search and look at those things. And the other thing we also check is, we're going to get access with a crane, or are we going to get access first of all, can we get access with a truck? Can we back the truck in? If not, can we get access with a crane? So if we can't, first of all, get access with a truck or a crane, then we're probably not the right option. And saying that, there's not a lot of sites I've been to that we can't get access to.
I understand.
So those two things. And then the next thing is, all right, access is good. Now let's look at what are some of the rules within the local council. Are we going to be able to make this happen? And once again, with that, most of the time it's yes. But, you know, it is really important you do those two things first.
Yes.
Don't waste time and money.
Okay. Do you need DA approval in WA?
So I think WA is not DA approval. It's the equivalent of CDC here. So it's a simplified process that you go through. It's definitely a lot easier and a lot faster than the whole formal process. Yeah.
You mentioned reactive soil. How, like, I mean, because the granny flat is built in your factory anyway, how would the reactive soil affect the equation? Like, does it mean you need to find specialized material for the piers or something?
Yeah, good question. So even though they're building the granny flat and a slab isn't required, we still need to put these on what we call pad footings. So you use a lot less concrete, but you concentrate your concrete around the points where it will be supported. So it's essentially on 8. So just one module is on 8 steel posts, and those steel posts still need to be supported in concrete. And depending on your type of soils will depend on the size of that bit of concrete that your post is on.
Yes.
And so if you've got soils that you know, have a high clay content, or could have a number of different things wrong with it. Then you need to make them bigger, basically. So our standard size for the footing is 600 by 600 by 450 deep.
Yes.
But sometimes they need to be deeper and they go to 650. So it's not a huge difference, but you know, all those little things all add up in the end.
Okay, yeah, because I know some areas in Perth, certain suburbs, they have soil that's got high clay content. So does that mean they cannot have one, or it just means they need to spend more on the footing?
Yeah, it just means the footings need to be deeper and sometimes wider as well, so they can spread the load over a bigger area.
Yes.
So it's not a game stopper. It's just a little bit of extra cost in the footings.
Okay, got it. I'm a bit curious. Once the like, you know, with connecting the utilities, you know, water, bathroom, electricity, and things like that. How does people do it? Like, do they have to have these things set up before the granny flat comes, or granny flat comes first, then set it up?
No, we asked that be all ready to go. It definitely makes it easier if that's all taken. So we'll draw on a map where you need to have them come to.
Yes.
Where's the location of the connection?
Yes.
And we asked the owner to just make sure that it's there, so that when it's all installed, it can be done as fast as possible. And so the site connection is actually quite fast. Usually the plumbers and electricians can get it done in 1 to 2 days.
Yes.
So they're not actually there for very long at all. Once the building gets there, and if the services are already brought to that location, only 1 to 2 days connection.
Oh, wonderful. Under normal circumstance, you know, where the connecting points are not too far away and stuff like that, roughly how much people need to budget for connecting utilities?
Yeah, if it's pretty close to like your already established utilities, so plumbing I think is around $5,000, and electrical would be probably just a little bit less than that. So it's not a big cost, but I mean, if you've got a really big block and the sewer's way at the front, then obviously it's going to cost more to bring it all the way to the back.
Yeah, I had one case where it cost 15,000. Yeah. The connecting point is very far away.
Those ones obviously it's going to cost a bit more, but yeah, I'd say most of the time you're pretty safe with that budget, like $5,000 for each for the plumbing and electrical. So it's pretty reasonable.
Wonderful. Okay, good to know. Can you run us through one popular example of your tiny home? You know, the ones on wheel.
Ah, yeah. So this one here, where is it?
Very nice.
So, I mean, that one there is one of our earlier models when we were still experimenting with timber. We don't use timber anymore.
Yeah.
But that was really, really popular, that one.
Okay.
It was well, it is sorry, that's the wrong one. So this is a 8-meter one, and there's a lot of space. It's really, really. We have really high ceilings, so it makes it feel a lot bigger.
Yes.
We have a few different cladding materials. This one here is called WeatherTex.
Yes.
It's got a timber wood grain look to it, but very, very nice product. So this one had quite a big living area. It's got a built-in kitchen.
Yes.
And dining table. We've got an elevated bed there with a loft and under bed storage.
Yes.
I
like that. It's not too. The bed is not like some bed you have to climb many stairs to get up to. I feel like a little bit dangerous. I like this one.
We didn't want to do that just because one of the complaints that we heard about a lot of people, even though you get extra space, it just was not a good place to. You didn't want to hang out in your bed because it felt very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So we decided to make ours a lot bigger so that you can actually relax and stay there during the day or the night, whatever you wanted to do. And then we put the TV on the wall here, but it's quite roomy in here. And because we have high ceilings, it feels really big.
Okay.
But we've got the MDF grooved board. So none of this is gyprock. So that's just a lot stronger wearing. We've got birchwood ply on the ceiling.
Yes.
And a fully functional kitchen with cooktop and gooseneck mixer. It also has we also put aircon as an additional feature as well.
Yes.
And this is our bathroom.
So that's add-on. Like if we want split system or something, you can either install for us, but that's optional add-on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah,
what are most of the reason people purchase tiny home from you? They just want like I don't know, extra relaxing space in their house, or you know, they have a holiday home and they want
very few people put these in their house. Most people put these on a block somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, most people who get these don't put them at their house.
Okay. And what do they use it for?
Some people use them as their own holiday home.
Yes.
We have some people just they might own land in the Hawkesbury or something like that, and they just at the moment they've got nothing on there, and so when they go stay there, at the moment some of them are just staying in like a tin shed or in a tent.
Yes.
And so they want something to stay in when they go to their land, and so that's what a lot of people get them for, or they just want an alternative income, and then they just use
like you mentioned before, certain council, they don't have rules on you know, how many days they can lease it out or stuff like that. So people get them for that. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Excellent. Anything else you'd like to add today, Jeremy?
No, I think that's covered a lot. I think you already covered the main reasons people use modular. It's faster.
Yes.
I think a really big perk for people is just not having trades on site. Because we're doing one soon right in the middle of the city, at a place called Forest Lodge.
Yes.
Which is right in the heart of the inner west, and their main motivation was that they just did not want to have trades there for months and months on end.
Yes.
That one's actually going to be a 2-story modular home.
Wow. Okay. You guys also do 2-story.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, can you show us a photo of that and how much it costs?
Okay, that one's very expensive, but I will show you.
Thank you.
I probably can't divulge because it's a client's one. I probably can't.
Oh, sorry. Divulge. Yeah, you don't have like a, I don't know, a sample photo of it?
I can show you their plans, but I probably can't tell you the cost just yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. But I can show you their plans really quickly.
Do you get much order for 2-story granny flat, 2-story tiny
Yeah, we
home?
do actually. We've had a few.
And why people do that? Is it because, you know, maybe the land not big enough, so they build upwards, or they just want something bigger?
I will tell you why. So really quick. That's it there. So the reason why is you get, if you use the space in between them, for this particular client, if you have a look at this, see that little void there?
Yes.
They're going to use that as outdoor living, and it will essentially be covered outdoor living.
Oh, okay.
So you make use of what they call the negative space.
Yes.
So even though because it's technically in the inner floor area of this is still only 60 square meters.
Yeah.
But once you add all of this breezeway decking,
yes,
you add a lot more area into your livable space.
Yes.
So they'll end up putting like you know, outdoor dining table and everything out here, and it just makes the granny flat feel way bigger than it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just a smarter way. This is not a cheap option though, so
yeah. How much? At least how much budget? You know, how much money I need to have in my pocket to even consider this?
Well, the other problem with this one is it's a very long lift, so yeah, probably up to the $300,000 mark. So
okay.
Yeah, it's probably not good from an investment point of view.
Yes.
But in terms of like personal use, this is what they wanted. You know, it wasn't. It's not. They're not looking to get a return on investment for this. They just wanted lifestyle.
Yeah.
So.
Understand. How many bedroom is this? So this is got three bedrooms.
Yeah.
1 bedroom downstairs and then 2 bedroom upstairs. Okay.
And it's also got 2 bathrooms.
Yes. Oh, amazing.
And a big.
Do you have a 4-bedroom style?
Pardon me?
Do you have ones that's got 4 bedrooms?
Yeah, but it's not a granny flat. It's so we have a modular home, which is just a standard house, which is a 4-bedroom home, which you can just build as a primary dwelling. It doesn't have to be a granny flat. Okay.
Yep. Wonderful. Do you get orders out like, you know, Central Coastway or, you know, Barn Bay sort of area?
Everywhere.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. It's very, very interesting, Jeremy. I really appreciate.
No worries. Thank you for having me. Hopefully, I've been of assistance.
Yeah. Can you show us your factory address and, you know, when do you hold the next open? You know, I know you hold open regularly.
Yeah. I think we've got one. In 2 weeks' time, actually, we've got another one.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
So
I'll send you
if people,
I'll send you the dates for it. I don't know that we've locked it in yet, but once we have it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
But I will bring up.
Yeah, could you bring up like your business name and the address, and you know maybe some Sydney people or who know even interstate people can go and visit. You know, your factory.
Yeah. We're happy to have anyone at any time. It's all by appointment. We have a lot of people, like just while I've been on here, we've had 2 people walking off the street. So we're very busy.
Yeah, so
this is our website. Come and check us out.
yes.
Where we are, if I go to contacts there, hopefully it gives me the right address. There's our
Alexandria,
address there, 1517 William Street, Alexandria.
Very nice
by
location.
appointment only. But drop us a note there. You can get contact by filling in your details on the website.
Yes.
And yeah, happy to help out in whatever way we can.
Wonderful. Finally, I want to ask your business name, Keep Modular Space. You know, is there any like a meaning or symbolism in this name? Like what's
I mean there is. So there's a few things.
Where does it originate from? What's your idea?
Yeah, so the first thing we want people to be proud of the product that we supply. And so our hope is that whoever builds with us, they want to keep it for the rest of their life. And then they also want to keep on coming back to us.
Yes.
We want to set up long-term relationships with people on every level. And so because that's part of our brand and who we are, we try and everything we do is aimed at that, is trying to keep people with us. So it has a bit of significance in that. But not only that, my last name is Wekeeper. So if you look at my name there, so we took the little middle part of it.
Yes.
So that surname is of I'm half Māori from New Zealand.
Yes.
So that's a traditional, that's an indigenous name to New Zealand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it does have a lot of meaning in it. Very
interesting. It has a lot of meaning, yeah. Definitely does.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Yeah, I better let you get off to build more granny flats and entertain clients. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.